Burley Sew. Hello everybody and welcome back to Burley Sew. I'm your host Purified, and today we've got a project. It's been a while since I've done a project. This is a plastic bag holder that I made for my wife for Christmas, and I'm going to show you guys how to make it. It's actually pretty nice instead of having all those bags laying around in a drawer or another bag or whatever. So basically I've got some material that I had for other projects. Maybe you're like me, and when you're at the fabric store you see something that looks cool and you just pick it up. And it's basically what the case was with these. You don't need much, just that and some elastic, and we'll show you how to make it. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut segments that are about 17 inches wide. Now the height of your segment is going to depend upon how you want your bag holder to look. You can make it one solid color. You can make it rows of different colors with varying widths like I did on this one. And I'm just going to go through and kind of show you how I cut up the different size strips of material to fit our project, and then we'll go ahead and stitch it all together. And while I'm doing this, I just want to say that I just realized that this week marks the 1-year anniversary of Burley Sew. I want to thank everybody for all the support they've given me over the past year. It's really been a blast doing these videos, connecting with people all over the world that have the same type of interests, and I'm doing my best to keep it, interesting and educational for everybody out there. Another thing that I want to add is that a lot of you have seen my videos on Sophie Sew, and recently I got in contact with the creator of Sophie Sew, and we found out that we're getting pretty close to an initial release here. It started with a rumor that was posted on my Facebook page, so you can go check out Burley Sew on Facebook. And I went and contacted Sophie Sew and kind of asked the question, and he gave us a reply, and I posted that reply on the on our Facebook page, so you can go check that out. But yeah, good news. Sophie Sew, someday soon. He's still working on it. He's getting close. I think that's exciting news for all of our embroidery viewers out there. I know I'm excited and looking forward to version 2.0. But getting back to the video here, you can see I'm just laying everything out the way that I think it's going to, the way that I think I'm going to like it. So you can do whatever you want, whatever material you've got laying around, obviously. But here's my outside panel, and it's going to be about roughly 28 inches long by about 17 inches wide. And the 17 inches wide, that's going to be sewn into kind of like a tube, and the 28 inches is going to be the length. It doesn't have to be that long. We end up with a lot of groceries. We get kids, we get a lot of those plastic bags. We use them for the cat litter, for garbage, all sorts of things, taking lunch to work. Where do you store them? This is a great solution. I'm happy every time I grab a plastic bag out of our holder versus grabbing it out of the drawer that we used to stuff them in, and then the cat would get in there and try to crawl in and take all the bags out, and they'd be all over the floor. So getting back to the video, you can see I'm just stitching everything together. It's just basic straight seams. That's all you've got to do. Take your pieces that you cut by 17 inches by whatever height that you wanted to make them to make your design look neat. I'm sure you guys can come up with several different creative ways to do this, but I'm just sewing them together with straight stitches so that all the the beautiful fabric pieces facing out. And then right here I'm going to go ahead and make a handle for it, and I had a couple pieces of scrap. So a little trick that I learned is that you can take these pieces and make them into one long piece by just putting them adjacent. I've got 45-degree angles cut on the ends of them, and you can see I'll just put a straight stitch right down the edge there, and when I stretch it out, we've got one long piece, and you can just trim it up if you make it a little bit wider so that it doesn't have any overhang on one side or the other if you miss a little bit. So now I'm going to fold that in half, and we're going to turn that into our handle. And what I'll do is I'll just turn that inside out so that the seam's on the interior, and then we can take this piece and just sew it on to the top of our bag. I've got it placed on the inside of the bag so that you won't see it. And then of course we're going to put a liner that I mentioned earlier on the inside as well, so that'll clean that all up. Not like you'll see it or anything, but I think the bags will have a easier chance flowing through if they don't get caught up on the seams. It'll be easier on your project, and it'll stop it from, you know, maybe buckling or something like that when you've got it full of bags and you're pulling down some of the bags out of it. But we'll just finish this up here, and then we're going to go to our next piece. Now here's the interior, and you're going to just cut that the same size as your outside piece. So maybe get some chalk or take your big long straight edge and just cut around the outside. And then what we'll do is we'll put the right sides together, and then we'll just seam the top and the bottom. And then that way we can just flip it inside out when we're done, and you won't be able to see it. So you can see right there's our seam. We'll cut this off. Now on the bottom I've got elastic so that the bags don't fall out. So I'm going to make a casing that's big enough for the elastic to slide into, and we're going to attach that to the bottom of our tube. Well, will end up being a tube, so that it kind of draws in a little bit at the bottom and the bags won't slip out. So I've already sewn that casing on, just right on the bottom here. And an easy way to get an elastic through something like this is just to use a pin, maybe a safety pin, kind of open it up on the, you know, loosen it up a little bit, and then you're just going to take your elastic and you're going to slide it in, and then just take a pin and you can keep working it up all the way through. So as we go ahead and finish this up, we'll get our elastic in all the way. You can see it starting to poke through the top there, and now we've got that. And I'm going to go ahead and sew the elastic inside the casing so that it doesn't shift. And you're going to want your elastic to be a little bit smaller than the 17 inches so that it gathers on the bottom. And what I'm doing now is just, I've got the elastic in there, I've got everything kind of the way I want the folds to be, the gathers, and you can see there it kind of narrows out on the bottom. So now we're going to take it and we're going to finish it up. Basically, we're going to take our right side and put it together, and we're going to sew a seam on the inside. I'm going to pin it for this, and really that's it. That's all there is to it. Not a lot of work to something like this. And I'll tell you what, like I said, I love it. I love grabbing a bag every time, just because you get the pride that you've made something, but it looks good. And a lot of people are like, wow, that's really cool, where'd you get that? Well, I made it, you know. So if you've got somebody that you know uses plastic bags or whatever, this would be a great gift for a birthday or holiday. But now you can see that we've got our seam in there, and we're just going to turn it inside out, and we're done. And we have our awesome plastic bag holder, and that's all there is to it. So we'll take a look at it here in a second, but that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Happy anniversary, Burley Sew. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. There's a lot more coming. I'm Purified. Leave your comments below, and thanks for watching Burley Sew.